Hi, and welcome to Moments with Jesus. Um, this is, I'm putting this up on YouTube. I do a public broadcast show too, and I call it Moments with Jesus because I try to take as many moments of my day with Him because He's always here and He's always willing to spend time with me. So I need to take time out of my life and that He's given me actually as a gift. And He's also blessed me by allowing me the blessing of actually knowing that He's really there. A lot of people, believe in Him and believe that He's there, but they haven't actually experienced that yet. They will when they die, and they'll get a large bonus for that as long as they can stay with Him. But it's a lonely journey because, and each one of us has a different path. He has a different path for each one of us. But the more time you take and spend with Jesus, no one else seems to want to spend the time with Jesus. So it's kind of a lonely journey. Or if they do, they want to, do it their way. And, there's really nothing you can do. I'm going to share I do an inspirational reading each day. I put it out on the internet to some email friends that I send them in this email each day. It's a different message. And I hear the Lord's voice in here talking, and some people just look at it as words. But and this is kind of a good one because this is how I tend to feel sometimes, and I know that other people feel this way sometimes. And he said this. He said, "You are feeling weighed down by a plethora of problems, both big and small." And that's so true in this world today, especially in this world. The problems that are facing people, it's your job, your kids, the world, politics, money, school shootings. I mean, there's all kinds of distractions for the mind. And when our minds focus on those things, then we're not focusing on Jesus inside us. And there's where the peace is. That's where the love is. That's where the joy is. Okay? And we want it's like myself, I want everybody to know that. I want everybody to display His name to the whole world because they believe and they're willing to put their belief on top of the lampstand instead of underneath it. And underneath it would be in the different churches they go to because they're in a box. The world can see the box. They can know that there's people in there, but they don't know who those people are. And He said, "Come out from among them and be ye separate." Now, going to church is a good thing, don't get me wrong. And having fellowship in a Christian community is a good thing. But you also need to take that Christian fellowship and Christian belief and display it to a lot of the world that doesn't yet believe that Christianity is the right way to go. And a lot of them will never believe. A lot of them don't believe there's a God at all. Okay? But anyway, he goes on to say, "They seem to require more and more of your attention," which is true. And that's how the devil uses those situations. And the Lord uses them sometimes to draw us closer to Him. Because the more we look at the world, the more depressed we get and feeling lonely. And when we do, if we turn to Jesus, He can bring us peace and out of that loneliness. So sometimes the Lord uses that. He lets us get distracted with the world. Or He can draw us away from the world. Okay? The devil, he puts all these temptations and these problems in our life, okay, to distract us, all right? They seem to require more and more of your attention, but you must not give in to those demands. When the difficulties in your life feel as if they are closing in on you, break free by spending quality time with me. So He's telling us spend the time with him. He's inside each and every one of us, okay? Especially if you're one of the 12 tribes of Israel, or if you're one of the Adamite people from Abraham, okay? So, and there are others, okay? There's also the evil side that's all around us also. And that evil side wants to control us and drive Jesus out of us, okay? So you've got to remember, this is a war. We are in a war zone. We have been ever since the garden. This is not heaven. This isn't even near to heaven. But because of Jesus' death on the cross and his sacrifice there, heaven can walk with us in this realm, which is not heaven. But when you're walking with him, you are, and you're in his presence, then you are in heaven, because he is heaven. Okay? You need to remember who I am in all my power and glory. Then humbly bring me your prayers and petitions. Your problems will pale when you view them in the light of my presence. You can learn to be joyful in me, your Savior, even in the midst of adverse circumstances. Rely on me, your strength. I make your feet like the feet of a deer, enabling you to go on the heights. And if you ever watched like some mountain animals, mountain goats and whatnot, they're able to climb mountains, and they can walk the narrowest of cliffs and not fall off, okay? Because of the way their balance and feet are. And he can make ours like that. And he can make us joyful. I mean, we allow ourselves to be brought down by our circumstances, okay? He doesn't want that. He wants us to see in those circumstances that really there's nothing we can do in those circumstances, okay? He wants us to go to him and through humble prayer and petition say, Lord, could you help me with this? Now, if it's something that he knows that you need to do, he'll help you with it. If it's something that you need to ignore, he won't help you with it, and you need to ignore it, and you need to stay in his presence. This is where he keeps drawing me back to. It's like the saying, it's like perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love of God, or Jesus, or Yeshua, or Yahweh, or Emmanuel, whatever you want to call it, okay? Perfect love in him is the first commandment, and the greatest commandment. They asked Jesus, what's the greatest commandment? He says, love God with your whole heart, your whole soul, and your whole mind. And then love your neighbor as yourself. Okay? And if you do those two things, you will have fulfilled the Bible from beginning to end. Simplicity, he says, is the keynote to heaven. Keynote. The keynote in a song is the key of the song. So if you have a song you're writing and I play guitar and sing, and I have to put each song in the key that my voice fits my voice the best, so I don't strain my voice. So I have to, change keys. There are certain keys that I can do a lot of songs in, and then comes to other songs I have to change it either down or up. Sometimes I'll use a capo, but that's the keynote, okay? It's the beginning and the end. What did Jesus say? I am the beginning and I am the end. I'm the Alpha and the Omega. Okay? People, the world has a real difficult time. I mean, there's so many say, oh yeah, I know, I believe in Jesus, you know. Yeah, they believe. Okay. But they don't practice it. Now, that'd be like telling a scientist who believes in a certain thing that can happen, and then he never does anything about it. He never studies about it. He doesn't try to develop it. It's the same thing. It's the same match. And like I have, you know, a lot of technology here that the Lord's blessed me with. And I always try to use my technology for His glory. Now I've come down to, and I always try to get more simplified. And it's actually been simplified by Him, not by me, okay? I mean, I kept saying, well, I'd like to get simpler, but I, you know, what didn't I? And all of a sudden, it dawns on me one day, I got the simplest method in the world. And I'm watching a lot of these on YouTube, a lot of the info warriors that are trying to bring the truth out in the back door because the mainstream media won't bring it in. They won't even talk about it. And if they do, it's all false. Because they're getting paid a lot of money to make it false. And they will lose their job if they tell the truth. And some of them may even lose their lives if they tell too much of the truth. That's happened. All right? That was basically the case of all this is a man named Seth Rich, who worked in either the CIA or FBI or one of those. He had access to a bunch of emails that he gave to WikiLeaks, who published it, which exposed all the corruption in our government, or a lot of it. And then more and more started getting exposed. Well, so that was a no-no in the evil people's eyes. So Seth Rich was killed. Oh, it was an accident. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, it's always an accident when somebody dies. Yeah. Yeah. Like there was only one shooter in JFK. And now that Trump released all the information, we find out there was more than one shooter. And I saw a tape recently that shows that the driver turned around with a gun and shot the president. You can see it right in the tape. You can see the gun, you can see the smoke coming out of the gun, and you can see Jackie trying to exit that limo, and the Secret Service pushing her back in. Because she knew who shot her husband. And she knew if she said anything, of course, she would have been the next one dead. And I'm sure she was told that. And she had 2 young children to care for. And as a mother, that would be a one way to stop her. So anyway, you know, again, that's my opinion. Who knows? But the tapes are there. And the gentleman that had that tape and showed that tape, he was killed too after 9/11 because he exposed 9/11. Or what that was all about. But anyway, the best place to be is with Jesus. It's like I have shirts like this. I've tried for many years, and I've given out a lot of shirts. I have these made. There's ones I make and print out. People say, "Well, who did the printing on that?" I said, "I wrote. I have pretty good handwriting. Thank you, Jesus." And then I try to put a Bible verse on the back of the shirt so that somebody standing behind me is going to get to read the Bible. They probably don't want to read the Bible, but they're going to get to read the Bible. Okay? And then if I turn around, they get to see Jesus' name. I don't have to say anything. I have to do anything. I get a lot of people like it. I say, well, you want a shirt? And wear it every day and display his name to the whole world around you, wherever you go? Well, you know, I mean, he's inside. That's good enough. Oh, I see. Might be good enough. I don't know. I mean, it could be right, but I think there's other things we can do that we can, and I don't think Jesus minds expanding and putting his name out there. I don't think he does. us anyway. Okay, so this is like 15 and I usually do an hour show, but I'm going to just finish this and send it up to YouTube because I can do this right from my phone. And now I can go out. It's hard when you go into Wi-Fi spots like Walmart or Market Basket or Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or what. But you can stay out in your car where it's quieter, and you can hook up to their Wi-Fi and you can do little videos and upload. And I'm going to start doing that too. Because sometimes I did one from Market Basket today. If I keep the video short, then the upload time and whatnot is a lot quicker. But anyway, take some more time and spend it with Jesus, folks. I'm telling you, you really need to. Especially in this world. This world, if you look around you, don't tell me you don't see how crazy it's getting, because I know you do. You can turn a blind eye to it, but it's not going to go away. It's going to get worse. And pretty soon it may start encroaching upon your life and your little quiet world. And then you're going to say, wait a minute. Well, it could be too late at that point. Okay? You need to start looking at this now and getting with Jesus and finding out what preparations he might want you. Especially, the biggest preparation is get to Jesus and start praying. Ask for his help. Bring your family into it. Bring your kids and your wife and your mother and father if they're alive, or grandparents. Bring the family together. I tell you, it's tough because a lot of families, they don't want to hear this stuff. I know that's happened in mine. I'm pretty well isolated out of my blood family, my 2 sisters, and my wife's family. You know, they all know me, and you know. But as far as want to listen to what I'm trying to help them with or understand, they don't want to hear it. They're their own little safe worlds, which is going to change. Yeah. But that's all you can tell people. And there's a whole bunch of people on YouTube. You can go on and listen to a whole bunch of the videos, and they're trying to help people too. It's just people, but you got to keep trying. You know. So. Anyway, love, joy, and peace. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now. Love you.